you know, close the door, please. Oh my goodness.
Am I here?
Kenny, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Oh,
me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's kind of like from this because Mike changed it. So can you hear
Okay.
me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. We're I think we should probably start. And what's happening is Louis is still trying to figure it out. So we'll start with you, okay?
Okay.
Hey, this is Mary and Mary Unapologetic. I'm back. So, anyways, we have two special guests today. I'm going to start with Kenny Mincham, and he's one of the attendee that we actually enjoyed company. I mean, I enjoyed your company at Mega Media. That was so much fun. And then the second guest that's going to come on, as long as he can figure this out. Because right now, I think he's pulling over to the side. He's driving. So I'm not sure if he's going to have luck, but I might have to interrupt you, Kenny, if he's trying to figure it out. I mean, I have my phone next to me just in case it needs my help. Okay. So, anyways, without further ado, let's introduce you, Kenny. I'll let you do it actually.
Yes. So my name is Kenny Mitchum. I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been in the dent business, paintless dent removal business for, gosh, probably 13, 14 years. And we've just been at it ever since. And so, this was my first Mega Media event, and I couldn't have asked for more. So,
Oh, thank you. Let me ask you. You said you've been in the business or in the industry for 13 years, but I haven't heard. I haven't heard about you yet. So, where have you been, Kenny? I mean, were you a hail chaser, or you're just staying in your area?
no, both. I've chased hail for gosh, probably 7 or 8 years, and then once my son came along, I started to build a business at home, and um, so that's why I partnered with Mike to create a website for me.
Mm-hmm.
For our business, and so then back in November, and so then the website that he created had a lot of professional pictures, but it was a lot of work of him and his past students and stuff like that. So what really piqued my interest was the professional photos
Mm-hmm.
and for the Mega Media event. But then once I started digging into it, I realized that it's way more than professional photos. So, but anyways, that's the little backstory is I did chase hail for a little while, and then once my son came along, I started to build a business in Charleston.
Okay. How long you been in Charleston? As far as your company, because you.
Um, yeah, we've been in Charleston. Gosh, for the whole time, really. I have a partner, and he while I was chasing hail, he was staying here,
Ah.
handling the business, and so yeah. But yeah, so it's been around, gosh, since the early 2000s, really.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. So when you actually sign up for the Mega Media, I mean, I actually, I want to get some feedback. I mean, some of you guys have, texted us or called us. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, I thought that was I thought that was Louis. So, anyways, have basically some of you guys have reached out to us, called us, and then some of you guys have posted something on, Facebook. What was your expectation, Kenny? When you sign up for Mega Media, I mean, obviously this is your first time. You know what I mean? I wanted to exceed your expectation, so I hope we did that.
Yes, absolutely. So my expectations prior to traveling there and going to the mega media event, I wanted to know more about the website aspect of it. I know how to push, I know how to fix dents very well, but I needed more information on the back side of the business, like the website and things like that. And so I wanted to know more about the Google Analytics, the blogging, the backlinks on the website, things like that. And what I you guys exceeded my expectations tremendously with once you started talking about branding and Mike started talking about the know, like, and the trust, and things like your site speed and your domain authority, and certain wording that you use for
The
just,
keywords.
yeah, certain keywords,
Yeah.
certain words excite certain emotions in people,
Yeah.
and so,
Yeah.
so that's really what you guys, it just exceeded my expectations tremendously.
Yeah. Well, when Mike and I put it together, I was like, okay, I want what I was trying to present is for you guys to have some information, as information that will make you as a whole, as a business owner. It's not just like the business, but also in your, on a personal level, right?
Right.
Because really, if you are still not figuring it out, or if you haven't figured out what you're supposed to do as a person, or your purpose here in life,
Right.
then I think you wouldn't be able to apply it in business and be successful and reach your full potential. So I kind of added some stuff to it, besides just, social media marketing. You have to know the social media landscape.
Right.
That's why, yeah, because Mike covered some of that social media marketing, but then with me, I wanted you guys to understand, so how it actually works and which platform would probably work for you, because there's four, I think four, or was it three main one right now?
uh,
No, actually it's four, because
yeah.
I talked about Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yep.
And each of them are like different. So
Mhm.
when you are creating contents, and in order for you to entice people, there's certain trick into doing that. That's why I'm like, okay, Mike's going to cover about social media marketing. I'm going to cover about the landscape. So you understand,
Right.
fully of what it entails. So when you're creating contents, then it's going to be more effective for you, and it's going to entice the public, like the mainstream people, because those are really your audience,
That's
right?
right.
Uh
That's
huh.
right.
Yep.
So it was very the whole experience as a whole was great. It was very well thought out. We can tell you really, yeah, we can tell Mike thinks maybe one or two steps ahead. You think probably four or five steps ahead. And so and so it was really, it was well planned. There was no mishaps. We didn't have any, no unforeseen things happen. Everybody that attended, basically treat you like family. It was
Uh-huh.
really, really, really good. I didn't meet one bad person there. It was awesome. Everybody, was really nice.
Yeah, there was some kind of like love in the whole event, right? I mean, between the Anson family, who's very, I mean, gosh, their hospitality is just unmatched. You know what I mean? Between
Right.
them trying to accommodate us, make it easier for us, and then the people that have attended, everyone just came together. There's some camaraderie there, and then when you have that, and then the other people that also came later on for the Anson open house, when
Right.
when they joined us in the evening for some fun, it
Yeah.
just made it like that much more fun. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
It,
especially when we went to that, what was that? I forget the name now, because I have so much, in my mind. What was that place where we went to? The minute that we walked in, we saw the front lady. I think she was like at the door, the front
yeah.
desk lady. She had like, what did she have? An oxygen. she had,
Yeah.
and she was like, what, 70, 80 years old. And I turned around, I said, hey boys, when you go to, when you go in a club, well, for me, I consider it a club because it's a dance place. You know what I mean? So I said, when you go in a club and you see a woman who happens to be 70, 80 years old on a Friday night with her oxygen on, she's not at home watching her soap opera or her movie. She's actually out there to meet new people and have fun. You know, you're going to have a good time.
Right. Right. And so, like, when we were there, we were having a good time. And then other people started to show up. The guy from Get a Grip, and, just everybody started showing up. And it was just, it was love, man. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was actually, that I guess I was, I like it so much. I guess I was like, I can say, I was shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, Kenny, this is, no one can beat this. You know what I mean? I was speechless because I was like, because that's the first time I've actually seen someone like her with,
Right.
citizen. And she's so cool that she's actually working the front, you know what I mean? Checking in people. And the fact that her, I guess, her physical health, I wouldn't say she has disability because it's not a nice thing to say, but she does need oxygen. Okay. And that didn't stop her from working that club. I was like, oh my gosh, that was
Yeah.
like a lot of fun. I actually heard that from some of the locals, in that area that they were like, you guys went there. Why did you go there? I mean, we locals here don't even go there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Is that supposed to be a bad thing? But we had so much fun. We didn't care. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. And I tell you what, I think the highlight of my whole trip was seeing
Uh-huh.
Mike out there on the dance floor, and he was just getting down.
He's
Right?
just getting it down.
Yes, he got some moves. I didn't know he could move like that, man. So
Oh yeah. Mike and I used to go dancing. I love to go dancing. He loves to go dancing. He's actually a break dancer back in the 80s. Yeah, I mean, he
okay,
was what? He played football, he played basketball, he was also a cross country runner, and then he wanted to be a break dancer because back in the 80s, like mid 80s,
yeah,
early 90s, break dancing was the big thing. So he wanted to master it, and he became a good break dancer. Yeah.
I was thoroughly impressed. And to everyone who doesn't know, Mike told me that he actually beat Michael Jordan in 1-on-1 too. So
Yeah. Yeah, but then there's no evidence, but I believe him because his best friend actually vouched for him. And I'm like, why didn't you guys record it? But
right,
we didn't have any cell phone back then. So
yeah,
yeah, I think it was unexpected,
right,
He and Michael Jordan just, kind of like picked him out of the out of the crowd. There was like so many people at his high school that he
yeah.
was like determined to beat him. So he's like, okay.
I thought he
He's
was joking at first when he told that story, but he was like, no, he was dead serious. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some of his friends, I mean, obviously, even his best friends, they went to school together. So he vouched that, he vouched for Mike that Michael Jordan went to their school and he beat Michael Jordan. I don't know what it was, like a 1-on-1 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he beat him. I think he scored a bucket on him, and then Michael Jordan really put the clamps on him, and then it was he didn't score again. I think that's what he.
I don't know if there was a prize. I think there was a prize, because you know how the basketball players or athletes go to school, they kind of like make it interesting and they usually like give away prizes. I don't know the details anymore. It would have been nice if somebody videoed it, but
Right.
no,
Yep.
yeah, nobody did. Going going back to that night, remember there was some Mike told me don't post it on Facebook. There was some local girl that went behind his back and started doing these moves, and I was like, Mike, turn around. And then he was like shocked. He said, who was that? But by that time he had few alcohol.
Yeah.
He had so, I don't know if he had so much to drink, but he had a few in his system. So he was just like left. And I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, don't do that. She might think that, you're being mean, but oh well, it
Oh,
happened.
yeah, no, I missed that. I missed that whole deal.
You
Yeah.
didn't see it? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Hold on, Kenny. I'm going to add Louis, okay? Louis
Okay.
is going to be. What's up, Louis?
Hi, how you doing? I'm
We started. We're like 15 minutes into this. How are you?
okay. Running around today.
Oh, okay. Are you doing some work right now?
No, not that. I had to go do some running for um, repair work on a rental.
Ah, okay. So I hope you can do this while you're driving. You're gonna be okay, right? Because it's
I think so. It's a pretty low key drive. I think.
okay. We were just talking about the Louis. Louis, you know what, Kenny? Louis wasn't there when we went to that place. You didn't end up going to that bar slash club when Mike was doing his break dancing. I mean, people got into dancing, so we were on the dance floor doing some moves.
Oh man.
You, yeah, you missed out on that one.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Missed a good time.
Yeah,
Missed a good time.
yes, yes. Now, Kenny, how come you didn't see Mike? When that local girl like decided to dance with Mike, how come you didn't see him?
So honestly, so I started talking to Mike's friend Chris Brown,
Ah,
and so we got really deep in the conversation, and it was a really interesting conversation, and so I was just really paying attention. I was focused in the conversation, and I wasn't even. I saw a little bit of the breakdancing, but then we started talking again, and I just I don't know, I just didn't catch it, So
mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
What about someone getting hit on? Someone's picking one of our friend up, and I don't want to name who because I want to keep their
No, I
privacy. Yeah.
there.
Did you witness that?
No, I didn't see that.
because the girl, I was like, I mean, I was sitting to the gentleman, across from me, and when I saw the girl like trying to get his digits, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I was like, she's much older than him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was very surprised because it seemed like everybody in there was like missing a front tooth or something. So so I wasn't really paying too much attention to all of that. So
Uh, well, I was waiting for some hot chicks to walk by, you know what I mean? But I saw a couple, one or two, I guess.
okay, well I
It was,
didn't. So I don't know. Oh man,
uh, it was kind of like,
That is.
I mean, I guess the whole vibe or atmosphere when I was sitting there and I was like people watching. I like to people watch.
right,
It's entertaining for me. I was like, okay, who's the hottie over here? So I'm looking around, find a couple, but then I'm like thinking, this is a really different place, that I usually go to, and I was like, I wonder if all the places in that area are like that. But
right,
then,
right.
but then if that's the case, I'm just like, wow. I mean, I guess there's no age limit because I've seen someone who's 70 or maybe 80 years old, and I've seen someone who's like, I don't know, 21. You know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
no,
Yes,
yeah,
I was really surprised whenever we came when we drove up in the parking lot, me, you, Mike, and Chris. I was like, really, I was like, man, where are we at? But it turned out to be a really good time because
yeah,
we brought the party to that place. Like it just.
uh-huh.
Everybody was having a good time, having a good conversation, no matter who it was. We all were having a good time, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that it was great. So, Louis, the first question I asked Kenny is that what was your expectation of the mega media? Because this is your first mega media ever, you know what I mean? And I guess what was your expectation, and did we meet your expectation? Louis, did you hear?
Well,
Oh,
it was it was pretty neat for me because um, I got to meet a lot of people that are in the business, and I'm brand new, just starting, just barely got my license, my business license. So although I've been fixing dents for a little bit, but
mhm.
it was interesting being the older guy but being the new guy and having a lot of people that have been in the business for a while actually talk to me and give me tips and let me know about how the first year is pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we're willing to share their experiences with me.
Yeah. Everyone's like
But
want to help, right?
class, yeah, and as far as the class goes, there was a lot of information. I'm glad I had Lucy there. She was recording for me as I was trying to listen. So it was a lot of information for me to
I hope
digest.
well, here's the thing, okay? I hope we didn't give out so much information that you guys are overwhelmed. I mean, I just think that the topics that we covered are very important information, especially, for those new, for the new or maybe yeah, for the new business owner. You know what I mean? Um, and then also for people that have business for many years. These are these are important information that they should actually know. And the ones, because like sometimes, like for example, when I used to go to school, there's so much like stuff to memorize. There's so much stuff to know. I don't know where I'm gonna put my focus on. And so the way I process the information is like I'm only like picking and choosing what's really important, and then I go, and then I list it from the top to the bottom, which one's the most priority. So the way this mega media was done, it's almost like that, I mean, Mike and I are having conversation and I said, what do you want to cover? He said he wants to cover this one. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to cover something that's totally different than what he's going to cover. So that way it's not repetitive information. But then the information that I put out there are really what you really need to know as a whole, as a whole, being a business owner, right? And being able to sustain your business as well as to scale it. So I think also the way I organize it, even I know I'm kind of anal because I was like, okay, this is going to be the first hour, second hour. And I talked about it, mind mapping. The way I even did the agenda is like mind mapping. So that way it's almost like in sequence. So that way it's not jumping from one information to another that's totally irrelevant with each other. I want it to be like easy for you guys to remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was well thought out. It was, and it flowed.
There's a
it didn't hop around. It flowed right into one thing, led to another, led to another. It was really good.
Yeah. So because it's not just information that you need to know about business, it's also information about, I guess, humanity. Like what do you want? How to become successful in life. You have to know really a lot about yourself.
Right.
And I think the reason why, for us, we are successful is because I know what's Mike's strength and I know his weakness. And that's the same thing with me. So if he's not good at one thing, or if he's, because each of us, I think, I believe that we have our strengths and weaknesses, you know what I mean? And each of us needs to offset and kind of like compensate, whatever Mike's weaknesses, I kind of like come in there to compensate that. So
Right.
that way I catch it, and then I don't have to fix problems. Like Mike, sometimes he has so much stuff in his head that he will miss details, when it comes to like, hey, I need to call maybe Kenny today because I missed a call from him, or maybe I need to follow up on Louis because he needed some information from me, but I just couldn't pick up the call 2 days ago. So some of this stuff sometimes he'll forget. Then I'll make sure that I'll remind him. So in business, really you need to know your strength and your weakness, so that way hopefully your weakness, if you understand what it is, then you can like figure out how you can improve that and compensate, or you know what I mean, like make it your strength, you know what I mean, so that way there's not a lot of missing stuff
Right.
that yeah.
And one of the things the things that I appreciate is you shedding light on the fact that you need to know who your audience is, who your customers are. You know, you need to know why you're posting stuff. You know, don't just be out there just just video and everything and just post it, but had some guidelines. If you have to write stuff down or whatever, but just make sure you know who your audience is and make sure that you promote your business to that genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because also if you think about it, for every platform, it's different audiences. You know what I mean? Like what's Facebook audience is not the same as Instagram. You know, same thing with YouTube or TikTok, right? Because TikTok obviously is the newest one, and they are attracting more of a younger generation than us. So
Right.
if if you pay attention, you can see it. And then covering that actually would help you guys to figure out how you should do your social media marketing. I mean, where do you want to post? Depending on your areas, your geographic area, then you can figure out which one will resonate to your audience.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then as far as I would say the management part, like, because I try to cover human resources information there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not just regarding hiring, but also, like how to create, let's say, employee handbook. Because I don't know. Do you have employee, Kenny?
Yes, I have two of them, and I actually used that this week. I actually hired a guy, and I used several of the programs that you told us about. And as a matter of fact, the Rocket Lawyer that you told us about. And it was good. It went well. I was able to create a no compete from it. Create an NDA, disclosure,
non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I got from Mega Media. The thing about Mega Media is you guys gave us so many tools to use to run our business that it's just I couldn't have been more thankful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did you think about that, Louis? Did you like that one? The programs that like some of the tools that we told you guys to have. I mean, I know you're new in the business as far as the PDR, business, but I'm pretty sure, because you said that you have rentals, so I'm pretty sure you have employee, right? Or you don't?
No, what I do is I kind of subcontract the locator for me, a real estate company, and they will locate tenants for me, and from there on I just kind of take over everything else from repairs to and usually I go in and collect rents and stuff, so it's kind of a one-man show. But I do have Lucy that comes in and helps me, and she helps me get the units rented. It is quite interesting experience as far as learning people, because people are different, and kind of.
Oh, so you like that part, huh?
Yeah, communicate. Yeah, so you have to be very flexible to be able to deal with different kinds of people, because they, you need to be that way if you're gonna stay with the rentals, otherwise you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, well, because you're dealing with people, right? You're dealing with people. That's what I covered at the event. That it doesn't matter if you're, at the front office or in the back office. When you're running a business, you're dealing with people, and even if you don't have a business, you're still dealing with people. Your family, your kids, your spouse, your extended family, or your friends. So it's good to be able to know how to read people, or to even know where to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, um, it's definitely a learning curve that you have to, I think, deal with people, especially with the times of this COVID has really made a lot of people very anxious. So
Hmm.
uh, you have to. It requires a lot of patience, both that and
Mm.
also like PDR requires a lot of patience. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
No, no, no. You're right,
very
Louis. It
sometimes.
You got cut off. I'm sorry. Oh, you got cut off
Yeah,
again.
I have. I'm driving uh,
You're in the
antennas.
bad area, Louis. What do you
Yeah,
have? Verizon? Can you hear me now?
uh, I have.
Maybe you should have AT&T.
I do have AT&T, but I'm
What?
driving country club.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay, so we're going back to Kenny because Louis is having a cell reception here
Hey,
problem.
I wanted to tell you one thing, Mary, that I really appreciate, and I think you said that it was your first year. Did you say it was your first year having a guest speaker?
No, we've always had guest speaker,
Okay,
but this is the first year that we've had an actual, uh, outside person, outside our industry that I hired to do public speaking for us. And he's actually a professional public speaker. So it's
okay,
not like one of our friends speaking for our event. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
he had a really good message, with the trust, value, and respect, and then also his message. I think he, had a really rough childhood, and
Hmm.
then getting to the level that he's at now. It really, let everybody know that it doesn't matter where you come from. You can achieve your goals just like anybody else can. He had a really good message.
It's very, very inspiring. And that's why I actually, when I was going through like, who am I going to hire? Because there's a lot of them, right?
Right.
So I kind of like, again, I'm kind of anal. I'm like very analytic. I'm like, I want someone that's going to make a difference, someone that people are going to remember. You know what I mean? Because they can relate to that person. And we all have struggles, whether you are a business owner or not. We all have struggles in life, right? So I want you guys to see that, hey, you can be, you can be like a small person and make it big,
Yes.
depending on how much work you put into it and how you see things in life, like perspective, correct?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And also, a lot of this is also your attitude, how you approach things or how you see things and how you process things.
Right.
So like right now, I have a swimmer. And remember I talked about the I stage?
Right.
Remember, like my son, he's like 18, and I think it started really during the pandemic where he was going in this upward trajectory as far as being a good swimmer, and then suddenly we had a shutdown, and everyone like wasn't doing anything. But then luckily, I'm constantly talking to my kids because I knew I was already, hearing it or reading it that, kids didn't really like thrive during the pandemic due to that. They're busy, they have a busy schedule and suddenly they're not doing anything. And then not only that, they're not as focused because they have no direction. I mean, and with kids, you have to give them a lot of direction. You have to make sure they have a purpose. Even adult, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys pay attention, that if you are like doing something, let's say, like, do you know why I do agenda? Even
No.
our event, the 2 days event that we did, I have agenda each day. And in that agenda, I want you guys to know what you guys can expect, right? Hour by hour. And I have to lead you guys. Okay, 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime. I want you guys to be back at 1. So that way you guys know what to expect. Because if you don't have any direction, or if you don't have, like, I guess, like a purpose, I look at it as a purpose, then it's kind of like you guys are kind of like lost. You know what I'm saying? And when you're lost, for me, it's like what you do in life is like, it's like there's no intention to it. Then therefore, you kind of feel, you're kind of like trying to figure out, oh, I don't know if what I'm doing today is productive or not. Then you start doing self doubt on yourself. And when you have self doubt, then you kind of like wonder, you know what? I can't achieve that because I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
To me, I don't put a limit on what I can do or anyone. So with my kids, I mean, he went through that stage where he was doing so well. And then suddenly there's a pandemic. We had a shutdown. Then he was kind of lost. But then at that time, during that time when it was happening, he couldn't communicate it with me. I mean, you got to understand, teenagers, they don't say stuff. Even when you're asking them, they say, no, I'm fine. But then you know that, hey, at some point, this thing is going to catch up to him. And if he's not aware of what's happening, he's either going to thrive or he's not going to thrive. And then now, 2 years after is when he was telling me, I think it was just like last month, he was telling me, Mom, during the pandemic, I was really lost. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. His grades went down a little bit. He was like 3.7 and then it went down to 3.25. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still good for a boy, but he was like in the upward trajectory and he was just like plateau and then went down, and then even though I was talking to him, I was aware that I need to, he wasn't really like communicating it effectively with me because he was telling me everything is fine and dandy when it's really not. And then after that, I think it was last year when he realized that some of these younger kids are like catching up with him. And then he started gaining weight and then he's like, okay, what's wrong with me? And then now that he's a little older and I think me taking him to his college and meeting the people outside California, he realized, because I was like making him aware, he realized that he's like, you know what, Mom, I think I need to like work on myself. And I said, yeah, you do. Because you're going through some stage. I mean, you're going through a stage right now. You don't know what your purpose is, but I always say push forward, figure it out. And if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. I mean, I don't know, Kenny. I mean, did you reflect back, when you were in high school, like when you were 18 or 19, you were going through the same thing? Because I went through that.
Yeah. So especially when you get right around the 17, 18 year mark and you're getting ready to graduate, you've been programmed to do something for 18 years, wake up and go to school for, till 2 or 3 o'clock. And, well, now you're getting ready to graduate and it's a whole wide open world and you don't have anybody pushing you. It's just, it's all on you pretty much, and so, yes, absolutely. Did I reflect on it? That's a terrifying time in a young person's life is if they don't know exactly what's coming next, so
yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, now that we've had a discussion about it at the event, start paying attention, this younger generation, like maybe your relatives, your extended relative, or your even your kids, like when they were younger, they know what they want to do, and then suddenly they become teenagers, and then like what you said, they're getting ready to graduate, and then you ask them, hey, what are you going to college for? I don't know. I thought I was going to be this, but then it turns out I don't really know now. What school you want to go to? They don't really know either. You know what I mean? Right. And then also at that time, they don't know whether they want to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or they want to go to college, or they want to just work. There's so many choices and, options to pick from. But that's why you want to like downsize it as, I guess maybe downsize it to 1 or 2 or 3 option or choices. So that way you can like concentrate and pick which one you really want to do. Right. So that way you could, so that way you can like focus on that and thrive. I mean, if you actually pay attention, when younger kids, when they have so many sports that they are doing, they're like more. I think for me, like, in my opinion, are you there, Louis? Let me add Louis again. He got disconnected. Okay. So I think, when the when the kids have so many sports that they're playing, I think for me, they're not reaching their full potential because they can't give their 100% on that one sport, because they're doing soccer, they're doing, swimming, they're doing tennis, all at the same time. So I've always preached to my kids that we're going to focus on one sport at a time, and we're going to be good at this. As a matter of fact, we're going to give our 110% on this, and let's see where it's going to take us. I want you guys to start paying attention, so that way you can reach your full potential, where we need to make changes here, and then maybe we need to pivot on this, to this in this direction, so that way we can figure out what we are really made out of. And I start doing that when I was like questioning myself at that age, like late teenage years, early 20s. And then from there, everything I did was more intentional, and I think I did better.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome back, Louis. We lost you.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you need to switch to AT&T. Just kidding. I just like to mess with you, Louis. We need laugh in life. You know what I mean?
Well, we definitely need that. Life's too complex, and if you don't joke around.
Yeah, we need laughs in life. Yeah. Now, another thing that I was gonna ask you, Kenny, is that I didn't expect Sean to bring the couple of yellow pages. You know what I mean? Because when he walked in, he was holding them, and I'm like, why is this guy carrying the yellow pages? It's like back then we call it a directory. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. But then when I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was interrupted you. I'm sorry, but to everyone who doesn't know, Sean Harper's like a big guy. He's like 6'4" or something like that, and really strong. He looks like he's got hands made of steel or whatever. But he ripped these phone books in half, and it was kind of crazy, But.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. So when he did that, I was like, whoa, what's happening here? And then when he said, okay, come on, folks, get into this. And then we're like, oh, okay. So I felt like, I was like in some kind of like a football game, or maybe like the stadium, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it was like so much fun.
Yeah. So
for some people, that was their highlight, I guess. I don't know.
And also the next time that you order food, you need to order that food that you had. It was really good.
You're talking about Hard 8 barbecue?
Is that what
the
it was?
The barbecue, right?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. So. It's one of the best in that area, Hard 8. Yeah. We don't have it here in California. I don't know if you guys have it in your area.
Nope.
Okay. Apparently they have it is it in Colorado? I don't know. Maybe Colorado. Yeah. Because I was talking to one of the attendee, and he said it was, it's his favorite restaurant. Yeah. And I was like, I thought it was only in Texas, but apparently, some other states also have them.
Right.
Yeah. That was good food. Yes.
Mary, one thing that I thought was pretty neat was about Sean was because just a few days before that, at our local church, we had what's his name, was a basketball or baseball player. Anyways, ex-professional baseball player, and he was talking about how his life had changed from sports, and he also had brought in God, and it was interesting that they both had that, and they're both doing well now with God's guidance. And I think even myself, I feel God's telling me to slow down a little bit with EDR, and
Mm.
and he has, because all of a sudden I've had like a lot of things going on with my rentals, which has kind of overwhelmed me a little bit. But I've just kind of slowed down, which it was interesting. Brought God in, and I noticed that right away.
That's
About him,
that's a good observation, Louis.
I could see
Actually, huh? That's a good observation. Actually, I told you guys the story that I was really like praying. I said, "Hey, who can I get out there?" Because I'm so busy. It's not like I have 8 hours to do some stuff. To figure out which one I'm gonna do and who I'm gonna hire, and I asked for guidance, and I did. I got it, and then so as I was like praying and I made some phone calls, that's when I came across him, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, my prayers heard right here." You know what I mean? So for me, I think, you making a point as far as these two athletes, being close to God, and then they're both successful. I think in life, we need to have something to look forward to.
that.
Because, huh? We need to
The
have
other
faith
athlete
and
was
someone
Daryl
to look.
Strawberry.
I'm sorry. Huh? Daryl Strawberry?
It was Daryl Strawberry. Yeah.
Ah, Daryl Strawberry. Okay. So for me, I think in life we need to look something to we need to look something to look forward to, and then not only that, we need to have some kind of faith. I don't know. It could be a faith of being, like religion, or it could be a faith of something. So that way you have some kind of a motive, like a motivation to do stuff, right? Can you imagine if you're like just going through your day to day, and you're not, you don't have any, you don't have anything to look forward to? Then what's going to motivate you? I mean, like for example, like for me, I've always said to myself, okay, Mary, this is crazy. You are running with your husband 3 businesses. I mean, and then you have kids that, two of them are going to college, and this is the year that I'm supposed to help them with college. So it's like I'm like extra busy than normal. So for me, I'm like, if I don't look forward to working hard so that way I can have the money to go on luxury vacation or any vacation out there, then what am I supposed to look forward to? You know what I mean? That's why we take vacations. Like for me, when we go on vacation, I like, again, I put a lot of thought into it, where it is. And at the same time, I want it to be educational for the kids. Like one day, not one day, one of our vacation, we went to Italy. And the fact that I figured we're going to be in Italy anyway, because we want to like go to the Vatican. We want to go to, the Colosseum. We want to go to Venice, all these places that I've always wanted to go to when I was a kid, but I didn't have money. So now that I'm a business owner and I'm working, yeah, now I can afford it. But I figured since I'm going to be there, I'm going to take the kids to Pompeii. I don't know if you guys heard of Pompeii.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
The lost city. Yeah.
Right.
So I love history, and Avon loves history. So I'm like, I mean, my teenage daughter, she's not into history. She couldn't care less for it. But I'm like, you know what? If I introduce it to her, maybe she'll remember this, 5 years, 10 years from now, and she's going to have a different appreciation. So I brought them there, and then they liked it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I look forward to like, I think even though I'm busy, I wouldn't have it any other way, because I have the freedom to do what I want to do.
Right.
I don't like to be contained. And actually, now that we are into this topic, topic, remember when Sean said that I think his mom got called at the principal's office, and they're gonna put him in the. Remember, he mentioned something about being put in the box and being labeled, and he didn't like that.
Right.
When he was talking about that, I just saw a light bulb. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the same way. I don't like being put in the box, and that's why I don't like being labeled, and I don't like labeling people too, because I don't like being put in the box. Because for me, I like to be in an open area or open place, and being able to do anything I want to do and no limit. So that
Right.
way I know what's my full potential. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that to me, it's like it spoke to me. So I was like, that's why I don't like being labeled, because I like to I like to do a lot of things, and be successful doing it and be good at, doing it. So that way I can know whether I can reach my full potential or not. And every one of us has a potential to become something big out there. I think you just need to unlock that. You just need to unlock it. You need to figure it out what it is, and you need to be able to know how to unlock it. And that's what I'm trying to teach my kids right now, because I would like to see what their full potential is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think God gives everybody certain talents, um, and it's up to us to find them.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you get closer to God, He kind of shows you your talents. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a gentleman I once talked to, this was years ago. He was 104. He was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna die. He was dying. He had cancer. But he told me, he goes, one of the secrets to living a long life, prosperous life, he says, keep your mind full and your bowels empty. And I started, and it is kind of true, because as the older you get, the older people, they're very concerned about their bowels. But as he told me, never stop learning new stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I think they call me a jack of all trades, and I kind of am. I do a
Uh-huh.
lot of different things, but I enjoy what I do, and I like it that way. I like staying
Uh-huh.
busy. One minute I'm doing one thing, next minute I would do PDR one day, and 1 minute, the next day I'm out there, you know, doing
Doing
plumbing,
your rental stuff.
yeah, doing plumbing, or saving somebody's life in the hospital.
Yeah, I was going to mention that you work at the hospital, and then you and I one time shared some I don't know, experiences, right? By just working at the hospital. You see everything, or you see a lot by working at a hospital.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lot of the business that I've done at PDR is actually coworkers that
Uh huh.
I show them my videos, and they go, whoa, whoa, and then they want me to do work for them. Um,
Yeah.
but they know me there for. I mean, I've been there. I've been doing that for 30 years now. Um, but they know that I also do a lot of other things. I'm also a woodworker, which all of this has lent uh, um, to me designing and making stuff, and as well as making tools too for PDR, which I'm kind of try to pursue here.
Uh huh.
Uh, so it's something else too. But I'm kind of new at this, and so I always ask Mike for his opinion.
Louis, do you have like a day off? Because it seems like you okay. So you work at a hospital, you have rentals, you also do some plumbing, and then PDR. I mean, do you have like a day off that you like designate just for you and your wife, or maybe just to decompress?
Um, I decompress sometimes in between, because I work at the hospital part time now.
Mm-hmm.
So I do try to decompress in there, and schedule the dent repair around that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll do like a couple of dents
Mm-hmm.
uh, per day, and and have time off to do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing it such a long time now, multitasking different things that
Multitasking.
that
Well,
I've
if you
gotten used to it. But adding through PDR now more is kind of actually it's taking it to another level.
yeah. Well, we business owners, we kind of wear a lot of hats. You know what I'm saying? I mean, wouldn't you agree, Kenny? Because you're going to be doing your own marketing, or if you hire somebody to do your own marketing, I mean, you have to do your due diligence, make sure they know what they're doing as far as marketing, right?
That's
or
right.
you also deal with your customers, or you have, you deal with your operation, and then, we just do a lot. I mean, have you guys, since Mega Media, have you guys applied what you learned or implemented some of the stuff that we've covered in the event? I sorry, Kenny. I think you said that you used that program for your new employee, right? Who did you hire? Is it like a PDR technician, or it's just someone at the office?
He's yes, a PDR technician. He's a newer guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
never PDR before, and so it's really it's kind of tough at this point because it's the busy season. I normally try to hire someone during the winter when it's a little bit slower, but yeah, no, he's a brand new guy, and he's catching on really really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So far, what we went through, but yes, that program actually helped me out tremendously.
And you know what? You know why I introduced that to you guys, because it's a powerful tool, and you need it. It's a must. Due to that, if somebody ever asks you, let's say your employee, let's say there's an incident at the shop, okay? As a matter of fact, there was a thing in my shop, okay? And then the person commented, hey, can I actually get a copy, or I want to see the video because we have videos in my shop. You know what I mean? And I said, no, I'm not going to release that. And then the person was like questioning it. So it's like, why not? This is not a customer, by the way, somebody that worked with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why not? I just want to see it. And I said, well, why do you need it? It's like my personal, it's like, this is Den Time's personal belongings. I can't just release it to you.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to consult with my people to make sure that I'm not, hold on, let me add Louis again. How many times did I use Louis? It's 2 times. Wait a minute, this is 4, by the way. I'm not drunk yet. 2 times. So this is true story. So anyway, so the person was like, I want to see it, or can I have it? And I said, what are you going to do with the video? And then he said, nothing. I just thought that it's fun, to have it, and just for humor. And I said, oh, okay. Well, in my mind, I was already thinking, I don't want to do that. This could be a liability, but you know what? I'm trying to be, I'm trying to cooperate, and I'm not trying to be hard. So I had to like ask my people, and then, just to get a hard answer, and then let him know that, nope, I can't give you, or I can't, I can show it to you, but I can't give you that copy because it could be a liability. You never know what that person's going to do. He can abuse and do something with it. It's it's a company's propriety. You know what I mean? It's our property.
Right. He probably wanted to take that video and post it online, or whatever.
It was an incident that happened. So that stuff that I don't want to be just out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
One of the Mike told us about the Photoshop Express, the Pick Play Pose, the Light Leap, all of these different apps, and I haven't gotten through all of them yet, but I'm about 4 or 5 deep, and like I think Mike was saying, it's addictive. Like, the more you dive into posting and stuff, the more creative you become, and then like I never used to wake up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. every single morning now, just because not on I don't even have to set an alarm. Like I'm awake, and then I just want to go now. Like the creativity, it's
there.
Yeah, takes over really. So
yeah, once you know where you're going, or what direction you're going to, or what you're doing, then your mind is running. It's going nonstop, because you're having so many different ideas. Yes. And then even like trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to do next? What angle I'm going to take in order for me to do this, to achieve my goal, like opportunities. You're going to see like so many opportunities around you with the stuff that you have at hand, as far as the tools and why you're doing it, when you should do it, right? Yeah. So I think that's it's probably, I would say that it's like the motivation factor, right? It's motivating you to do stuff
Yes.
Even though back, I don't know, few months ago, you didn't like have the drive to do it, or you didn't even think about of doing it, even though you have to do it for your business.
Right.
Because now you know what to do. It's
Right.
almost like, I'm going to give you guys an example. It's almost like when I was in high school, I had so many math teacher, and then math to me back then was so intimidating because I was like, I don't know about algebra stuff, especially when especially I lived in two countries, right? I from the Philippines. Oh, what happened?
Lost you.
What happened? Okay. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can't see you.
What? I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm trying to fix this.
You went in
Cut
stealth.
you off right in an hour.
Is that what it is? Oh
No,
my
I don't.
gosh. This is funny. What's going on? Okay, so hold on. Let me see.
When she comes back, Louis, make sure you give her a good welcome back.
All right.
I don't know what happened. Maybe Mike put this on like some kind of a timer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me
Right at an hour, it cut off. Yeah.
yeah. So let me remove myself, and oh no, I can't do that, because if I remove myself, then maybe it might stop the
You're
the
host.
whole. Yes, exactly. Hold on. Let's see here. What is going on?
All you have to do is turn the light switch on.
No, I'm still here. I mean, I didn't do anything. It's just a weird. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't do anything.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. And guess what? We were not paying attention. There's like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. This always happens whenever I do a podcast. You know what I mean? Something happened at last minute, and I have to do my best. Oh, I think Sean has Mike dancing on video. Derek, you said that. Okay. So don't pay attention to my screen. I'm just gonna like post some, what do you call this, some comments here. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened to my video, but at least you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Video.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because sometimes I can't do 2, 3, or 4 things at one time anyway, let me go ahead and keep you guys entertained with some of these comments that I didn't pay attention on, and I forgot to just hit it. Okay, this is Tim Green. Okay, let's see here. Ervin Smith. Oh, it says, hi, Mary. Sorry, you guys. I was so involved, or I don't know, in concentration with our conversation, that I'm just like not paying attention with this. Okay, Corey, howdy.
He got to be.
I don't know what happened. Mike is downstairs, and oh, okay. We got 2 thumbs up. Are you still there? Okay. So Cole Fox. You guys all know Cole Fox, right?
Oh, yeah. He was at the Mega Media event, I think, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Was he the guy in the picture, like the Olin Mills picture? I think.
I said, hey, wait a minute. That looks like photos you see from Olin Mills. Okay. So anyways, let me finish my story real quick, and then we'll like wrap it up here. I don't know what happened to my video. I mean, I don't want to walk away and get Mike. He's downstairs, but I just don't know what happened. I didn't hit anything. It's unless maybe I can get him. Hey, you know what?
Or maybe he's
Louis, can you talk to Kenny, and let me get Mike here, okay, real quick. Let me just have him fix this. Can you guys continue?
Yes.
Hey folks, 2 of my guests here, first time ever on a podcast. They're gonna run this show. Okay.
So,
talk about something that happened that's funny in the mega media.
Oh man, something that's funny. I'll let you go first.
Well, one of the things that I really loved about it was meeting all these different business owners, and I know there was a gentleman next to me, Ryan, and his business. I looked at his shirt, and it said PDR, and they were looking for him to take a picture or take a photo with one of the vehicles. So I'm behind there. I saw the gentleman calling them, and so I yelled out PDR. He kind of looked around, and I, for the rest of the time there, I would call him that. So I thought it was really cool meeting a lot of people. I met the gentleman I didn't realize, Peter from VIP Tools.
I'm glad Peter, he was sitting right next to me, and I'm glad I met him because I need to find out where all my money's going. I probably bought 50 of those VIP tappers, and I probably financed half of his Mercedes van he was driving with all those tappers. So, but yes, you're right though. All of the people that were there, it was really, really nice to meet.
Yeah, I was asking them questions and because I'm an older guy, but I'm the new guy. I'm the newbie, and trying to get as much information from this experience. To me, it was a lot of fun. Meeting a lot of different people. Met the gentleman with the cool van.
Yes.
What was his name? Wayne. And he had a really cool looking van.
Yes, that big official, and it had the awning that just pulled out on the side while it was still there. It was on the side of the van.
Yeah, that was awesome, and he had a little hand washing station in there.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit of OCD going because he had everything nice and neat. There wasn't one thing out of place. So. I'll tell you one story that happened to me. It wasn't funny at the time, but it's kind of funny. But so I went to go get some coffee. They had the coffee station in the back there with the donuts and everything. So I went to go get some coffee, and while I went to go get some coffee, the guy that I was that was getting the coffee before me, he spilled his coffee, but he spilled it on my shoes. So I was like, I wasn't mad, but I was like, man, like that's kind of sucks. And so, so then I go to get my coffee, and I spilled the whole cup all over the table, man. And I was like, see, that's why I shouldn't have been mad at him spilling his coffee on my shoe because I spilled it on the whole table. I had to get Vinny D'Alessandro's to help me and everything, but it was kind of crazy. So
hey boys, I'm back, and guess what? I think I figured out what's wrong with this.
What happened?
By the way, I can't find Mike. He's supposed to be home, but I think he's probably next door at my neighbor's house. His camera, I think, is not fully charged. And so the way I set up the way our setup is here is like a regular, camera. We're using that as our camera and for our podcast. And I think it's not fully charged because it just turned off by itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyways, the story that I'm trying to share with you guys was when I came over here, I was like, it was like a culture shock for me. And then I knew from the get-go, I'm like, wow, this is like hard studying, especially the math. And then some of my friends were saying, Mary, how could you not like math? A lot of Asian people like math. I'm like, well, I may look Asian outside, but I'm like not the typical Asian. You know what I mean? You expect me to be like a straight A's and smart. Well, I'm not, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to have to do my best. But anyways, going through like 7th, 8th, 7th or 8th grade, I didn't really have like a good teacher in math, like I didn't really have a good math teacher. So I didn't really enjoy math up until I went to high school. And I can never forget his name. His name is Mr. B. He's like an older gentleman, and he has at that time he has a sidekick named, I forget his name, but anyways, he's always wearing, he used to wear, what do you call this? Cowboy outfit in San Diego. So So I was like, well, the way he dressed is really not, it doesn't go with the city that we live in, but you know what? That's what works for him. Maybe maybe he was like a rancher, in the past. But anyways, Mr. B showed me math like I've never looked at math before, especially like if you were to do like a problem. He's saying if you take the answer and you minus it from this, then you're going to come up with the problem. I was like, what? I never knew that you can do that. You can like go back and, like back and forth, sideways, and this, that. And then ever since then, I started enjoying math. So the reason why I'm making, I'm sharing this story with you guys is because when you guys know that you need to do something, but you're like, you don't understand it or you don't know how you're going to go about it, it's such a drag. I call it a drag, because it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this, but you know what? I have to do it. But when you kind of like unlock the mystery behind it and you understand it, you understand the process or you understand how you're going to go about it, then it makes it that much more fun. You know what I mean? Because you were talking, Kenny, you were talking earlier that now you're motivated to create content, to, probably like post something out there as far as your social media marketing or maybe like just even like a marketing stuff, right?
Right. That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So your creativity, you're tapping into your creativity. And I think the reason why I brought in humanity in our event is because I think, when, for me, my goal was I want to be a well-rounded person. And I think when you're a well-rounded person, you're seeing more, you're seeing things differently and you're seeing more opportunities and you're like unlocking more stuff out there that you normally wouldn't know to unlock. So that's why I brought a lot about really self-reflection, self-development. It's not just like the business aspect of it. It's also the personal, for the personal aspect too. It's like I wanted to bring that so you guys can realize that, hey, maybe if I work on myself, I would just get even better.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of weird you guys are talking to a blank screen.
Sound like us.
You know what's funny about it? You guys can't see me. And then we have Louis here who's like, we can barely hear what he's saying. It's like on and off. We're like, you know what I mean? He's like in and out.
Am I?
What?
Do I still cut out?
Yeah, you get cut out here and there sporadically. Yeah. But well. Anyway, what about the let's probably let's another 5 minutes and then let's finish this. What about the Anson's open house? Was that like fun for you guys? I mean, what was your take on that?
Go ahead,
Louis.
Yeah, well, I showed up a little bit late, but I had already bought a bunch of tools.
Uh-huh.
Back and I bought a couple more adapters for the Gorilla Grip, so I can implement them in the tools that I'm creating. So
you're creating new tools, huh?
Yeah. I got a couple more tools that I'm designing, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was like I kept going back there in between. Sometimes every time I had a break and go back there, and I'd ask Mike, what was that pick you said I needed again? So, constantly going back and forth, going back there and seeing. And I was there the day before when I did the power down class for the electric vehicles, which was really cool. You people don't realize how dangerous those vehicles are, but it was pretty neat when he explained everything to us. And I have seen first-hand knowledge of seeing a person, actually a PG&E guy, having electricity go through him and blow right out of his foot and blew his boot out.
Really?
Yeah, and so It's I think that was a really good class to take, and have in your back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Kenny.
Yeah, I actually missed the open house because I had knew I already was going to spend $1 million at that place anyway. So, but I missed it. I didn't. You know, I was like a little kid in the candy store. I had already spent $1,000 before I left. So I left and I missed it. But hopefully I didn't miss too much. But next year, wherever you guys have it next year, I definitely stay the whole or whatever.
Yeah, well, all you need to do is just hit me up and say, "Hey, Mary, how long is this gonna go?" And after the event, is there something going on? Then I'll let you know. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I knew that you booked your flight back home. Like I think Saturday. You left Saturday too, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we left that little bar or club, whatever it was. I think we left there like maybe 1:30, and I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. And like I was like a little 21-year-old. I was like, I was up and I wasn't even tired. I don't know what was going on, but I wasn't tired at all. Like,
You know what? I think it's the what do you call this? It's the fun and it's the high that you got from the event. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's like going to Vegas, right? In this case, we don't have the what do you call this? The air conditioning or the oxygen to keep you up, but it's the high. You know what I mean? That you're
Right.
like so excited, you don't want to miss out anything, and you're like more awake or anything, if anything. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, you know what? I thank both of you guys for coming on my podcast. And maybe until next time, I'm actually going to be doing the PDR interview podcast too. So I'm going to start that in June. Did you hear about that, Louis? Oh, okay. Kenny. Okay. So you guys know about PDR interview, right?
No. What
You're
is that?
not part of it? Oh, okay. I think we can add you guys. And if we add you guys, then you guys can watch other podcasters that are also doing podcasts. I mean, we have the Ginger Bros, and then we have Skip, who actually, Skip does some kind of religious stuff on a Sunday. And
Yeah.
then we have Randy Hubson, who's actually started the whole thing. And I'm going to be joining them soon. So I'll drop my first episode in June. So it's going to be interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks for coming on. And I really appreciate you guys. Until next time, here at Mary Unapologetic. Thank you.
Right.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.